Yes, yes. Welcome to the match preparation video for tomorrow night's fixture between Grange Thistle, FQAL under 16 and Redlands. We have played and defeated this team. Oh, sorry, we played and defeated them once, drew with them once in the first match of the season. This match will take place on home ground, and I would suggest that despite their position on the ladder, we are down on troops, so we will have to work hard to earn the right to play our football and definitely earn the right to win this fixture, which is our goal. We remember from playing them previously, they are well organised and not easy to break down. Therefore, our goal will be to manipulate the opposition, create space, break lines, and progress the ball into dangerous attacking opportunities. We will focus, therefore, on stretching the opposition. That may be stretching the opposition to create width and find the space to play through them, around them, or it may mean stretch them to create spaces in between their lines where we can then pass the ball and exploit that space to advance the ball. Once we have the ball in attacking opportunities, can we finish early when the opportunity exists? And then finally, our second challenge, can we dominate territory and create transitional moments using our aggressive press to pin them into their own half? To put that into context, when we consider the opposition, we've got a couple of things to consider. It's my opinion, based on our previous encounters with this team, that they are most dangerous during transitional moments or when they can advance the ball to relatively near halfway. So for this, I'll use this section of video. There's a couple of sections of video that I'll use. In this one, they have the ball on halfway. The ball is played back, so they create the space. Now, note in this case, what's happened is what's going to happen is we're going to have our right winger at the time. Striker doing a very good job of closing down the goalkeeper, forcing him to take a shot. He takes the shot. You've got the left back here. They have options here as well. But the press is actually forcing him to go to the winger. The winger will turn. He will drive into some of the space and then he will take advantage by going long. Okay, so let's watch how this unfolds. Now we need to close this down because you can see as soon as he gets the ball, he turns and he looks forward. This is a big component of their attack. He's 10, 15 meters their side of halfway and he's going to bomb. We're all ball watching. We need to be shutting this down. We can't allow them to look up, measure the pass, figure out the runners that they want to take, and then punt it up. As it turns out, now this guy's a mile offside. We may or may not have linesmen, and if we have linesmen, they may or may not get it right. So we need to pick up the marking in this position. Someone needs to be on him. Ball goes through, Mick picks it up. That's going to be a significant component of their attack. We'll now go forward. This is the second half of the last fixture we played them. They did the same thing when we played them in the first game. Most of their sort of long, aggressive passing, very much, I call it old English style. It's just that sort of old Allardyce, Sam Dyche style football where you just kick it up the guts. Or maybe, if you want to be a bit original, kick it out to the sides. Now, in this instance, where once again we're not pressing on this chap, you can see him. He's got his head up. He's watching the ball. In this case, the left back needs to be putting pressure on that ball because if we're putting pressure on that ball, what's about to happen doesn't happen. He takes it up. We can see left back is dropping instead of advancing to shut down the ball or the striker come across. But the point of the story is we cannot let them advance the ball that easily. Now he dribbles it up and he gets it to this point. He's a little bit short, although they, unlike a lot of teams, which will tend to launch these kind of attacks from about 10, 10 meters that side. These guys, a couple of the boys at the back, they got longer boots. He's well back. He's not far out of his 18-yard line. The bottom line is we need to shut these balls down because they kick these balls upfield, and then all it takes is a defensive mistake, particularly good bit of play from their attackers. defended quite well against that in all the fixtures that we played them. But this is their major attacking threat. He's going along. You can see where we're 1-0 up at this point in time was the same in the first half. They are well organised and difficult to break down at the back. We can help that with our press, and we can also help that by not allowing them to get this shot away and forcing them to try to play the ball through it, where we can win it in the middle of the pitch or in the middle third and then counter attack. That's going to be the game plan. All right. So we'll just get rid of that for a moment. Of critical importance, okay, will be our physicality. We're going to have to earn the right to play. We go out there and decide we want to be half-assed and not compete physically from the outset. We invite them into the game. We need to go out there on our home pitch, be physical, win the ball, and make a statement from the first whistle. Transitional moments are going to be really important. If we can shut down those long balls, as I just mentioned, we then force them to play through, and that gives us opportunities to win the ball in transition and counter attack. If we press, and we will press the same as we always do, we will pick up press wins, which create transitional moments, at which time we can attack. And as mentioned previously, we can then find the opportunity and finish when the opportunity presents itself. We don't need to rush the shot. It's generally a binary decision. You attack. Is the shot on? Shoot. If not, can you find a pass? And if neither of those, we just play it back and recycle it. It's a little bit like when we have a transition. We give ourselves 3 to 4 seconds to counter. If we can't get anything through there, then we just roll it out. Then we just roll it back and build a game. They are well organised. And this brings me to what's going to be most of the presentation that we're going to have today, which is to focus on not being too direct. My opinion is they're going to be very direct whenever they get the chance to go direct, and we need to play through teams. We're a better team, we are a football side when we play our football, and when we just try to go route one, we really drop back to the field. So this is some footage from when we played Redlands earlier in the season. We'll just wait for it to load up. Okay, so in this situation, first half, so we're running that away. So here we go, perfect. So what we're going to do, we realise, and this is where they're organised, and they're going to congest the field. They're going to try to congest the midfield as much as possible. Okay, they've got their lines essentially. They've got their front line, they've got their second, and they've got their back line. We've got the ball here. We could do a better job of stretching them here. We could have the centre back here, but you can see in this case Zaki is backpedaling. This movement is this way. So what we're doing is we're creating an opportunity to stretch and then counter, okay? Making them run left to right, creating the space. It creates all sorts of opportunities. It creates opportunities for us to find a midfielder player like Riley here running across. It gives us an opportunity to go further forward. You can't see him, but over here we have the winger here. So this is how we stretch them, and when we stretch them, we create space in between their lines, in between their bodies, and that gives us room to exploit, stretch, create, break. We then go forward to 24-36, which is a good example. 24. Okay, we'll just let it roll through from to where it is. Okay, so we've got this, that's 24. 28, Riley on the ball, receives it. Now, ran into trouble. We're in danger of turning over the ball here, and this is a precarious position because we lose the ball here. They've suddenly got 3 players who they can counter with, and this bloke can counter as well, and this guy can run off, and it's a transitional moment which they could profit from. Ball back, okay, so we find the ball goes back to Max. Now, Riley has dropped into the space. So once again, we've got to find this space. There's going to be a big play for Ollie, defensive mid. So these are their lines. Okay, so once again, we found space in behind the lines. Once you're in between the lines, what you ideally want to be doing is turning so your back's not to goal. In this case, we've also got Luke in between the lines here. So the pass to Luke is on. Give me an arrow, my kingdom for an arrow. Luke is on, and then a pass through to here, or maybe a pass back through. So let's see how we play it. I believe we go Bang. Once again, now Luke has dropped back in between the lines, okay? This is the kind of play that will allow us to exploit these boys. Heaps of space, we stretch them, we create the space, and then we exploit the space, okay? We manipulate them to create the room that we need to play through. Moving forward to 61-26. And they will traditionally, we have found they will give us that space. Okay, now Danny is on the ball here. They do have this long-haired character. He's actually quite handy. I thought that, I mean, he was brought into the game late, not quite sure why, but anyway, so Danny's got the ball, he's got a 2-on-1. Their goalkeeper's quite solid as well. He takes some beating. So Danny's got the position. He could go direct for goal, okay, but it's low probability. If he can get his feet right, there is a possibility to perhaps find Will. Will's over on this side. He can make a run at the far post, so that's an option. But he's also got the supporting run here, which I think is Benji. Danny takes the correct option. There we go. He goes, you know what? I'm not going to go for the low percentage play because you can see this defender, okay, this centre back has dropped back to cut out that cross ball over to Will. So this chap has cut that out. So Danny just goes, you know what? I'm just going to value possession. Pass it through, finds a good pass for Riley, who can't quite control it. Will manages to get it. So now we're consolidating possession. Now find Zaki. Zaki gets on the ball, plays it through. We get Will. Will gets on the ball. Now that ends up producing a corner. But the point is it's sustained possession, sustained attack. We get to keep the ball. We get to load up and have another go at them. Okay. Uh, Next, we've got some footage from the North Lakes game. It wasn't all doom and gloom from North Lakes. There was plenty of positives to take out of that game in the second half. There always are. You need to find the things to learn through, but you also need to find the positives in those performances. I'm just going to turn the volume off because it's a little bit hard for me. Now, in this situation, okay, Isaac's got the break. Now, here we are. There's not, unfortunately, we're all over the shop where we kind of look like a tired rugby league forward pack all in the middle. The only link up player moving forward he has, he's got plenty of defenders. So really what we need to do in this position is find a way to retain the ball and keep advancing it moving forward. Fortunately, Isaac does that. He goes forward. He goes, yep, you know what? I'm just going to come back. And now he's got the opportunity to link up because he's given everyone a bit of a chance to catch up. And now all of a sudden we've got options. So we've got Mail coming through the middle, Will still over on the other side. Mael can make a run through to here. And then that gives us the opportunity. So after passing, it gives Isaac a chance to continue his run and look to link up. All right. So finds the ball, really good little pass through, finds Mail. Now Mail's got options here. Mail's going to elect to shoot, which I don't personally think is the correct option. That's a long way out. And I'm not convinced that that's a scoring opportunity. Maybe if we've got runners who can go through, I think from this situation, we're probably better off bringing other players into the attack and advancing the ball. But anyway, shot unfortunately doesn't test the keeper. So in that situation with a 3-on-6, I think we're better off bringing other players into the attack and trying to structure an attack. So that's what I prefer to see us do against a team like Redlands on the weekend. Build up, find a high quality, high percentage opportunity. Okay, so am I in the right spot? 54. Well, yes, I am. Okay. So this is an example. Now you can see Mick, he's saying, who am I aiming for? The reality of the situation, Mick, and this is something I do want you to think about, is you go to the left a lot. In this situation, you've got Max standing over here with a ton of space. And we've got Isaac here with a ton of space, and we can't see him because he's out of shot. But I believe we've got Zach Millichet. You can even see Francis actually pointing to the left. So, to the right hand side. So, Mick, I want you to give some thought to making sure you don't neglect the fact that we have a right side of the centre back position, and you'll often find Max there. So it's gone up. They're going to win the header. They nod it back in. We win the ball. It's a bit of a mixer here. Now, Riley's got the ball in this situation. In this situation, this is where we can become a little bit fixated. We need to concentrate on valuing the balls. So options that we can look at can be, okay, we can have a ball that involves this player running into space to receive, can involve Will dropping in to receive, can involve Isaac showing here. So the options, we've got options here, we've got options here, we've got options here. Any of those are passes which are very much within Riley's range. We retain the ball and we can concentrate on playing through. So this is something that I want us to get better at. We have space in between their lines. Once again, I'll talk in terms of lines. Line. This line's actually quite broken, okay? So you can see they're all over the place. So this is an example of where we actually, if we look at their lines, like this is their midfield. It's all over the shop. Looks like something out of Snakes and Ladders. Okay, bombs it up. Not a good pass. We manage to win it, and then we do exactly the same thing. Just sort of bomb it up. We're just surrendering possession, giving them the opportunity to come back at us. Okay, so we need to be more productive than that. The last bit of play, now this is all from this little, oh God, this is the start of the second half. We did go back at them at the start of the second half. We really, look, we weren't ourselves for most of that game, if we're being completely honest. So in this situation, ball's bobbling around. Isaac gets the ball at his feet. Now, um, this is an example of what I think is quite good play. There's not a lot happening for Isaac here. He's yet to get his body shape. He's yet to get the ball under control. Um, because of that, the passing options that he have are not really available to him. So he takes it back, finds the space, and then Riley is making himself available for the ball. Okay, so it's really good play. Isaac's gone back, he's opened up space, and then he's found the pass. This is going to find the pass here, and that's going to allow Riley to then break and look for another pass. Okay, so we'll play it through from there. Plays it through, and now all of a sudden we've broken through. Okay, so now we've found space in between the lines. We have Francis running through, we have Mail on the ball, we have Will out on the other side, we've got Benji who can execute a diagonal run. Okay, we've got all of these options available, and the ball is in that space. To use the lines again, back line, forward line. And this is basically their midfield. Their midfield, you can throw a handkerchief over all of them. So we have found space between their lines. We've found gaps, and then we can counterattack. And if we see how this goes forward, probably missing, but poor communication there. Francis, that we needed Francis, a better communication between Francis and Mael, because you both ended up a meter from each other. It's a good ball through to Isaac's feet. Unfortunately, shows too much of it to the defender and it breaks down. But if we continue to create those opportunities, we will eventually be able to get one that we can get on the end of. All right. Finally, okay. So we've covered off in terms of transition. We need to make sure that we avoid their longer balls, okay, by shutting them down. That's a matter of our press. This will create opportunities to win the ball in the middle of the pitch, which will create transitional moments. All of that hinges on us approaching the game with the appropriate amount of physicality from the outset. And then we need to remember that they are well organized. So we will have to be disciplined in how we stretch, create, break to get through them. All right. Finally, the lineup. We are a little short today. We've got two players starting on the bench. Okay. So to go through the lineup, Mick remains unchanged in goals. Major and Max. Major holds on to his spot in the starting lineup after some really strong, dogged performances, which is exactly what we expect of Major. Max, our playmaker, our quarterback at the back, will be starting at centre back. I expect that we will probably be moving Max further up the pitch throughout the game. I would point out that we have Zach Mason on the bench. Zach's able to play two 30-minute stints in each half, so that should free us up some space to move Max further up the pitch. Zach Millichay, good form sees him retain his position at right back in the starting lineup. Luke Payne, um, honestly, probably is playing some of the best football that he's played under my stewardship as coach. Francis, box to box, number eight. You're going to get some miles in your legs over the course of this match. Benji's moved back a little bit to 10 to give us a little bit more tenacity. Will moves to striker. I think that's an excellent pressing combination, Will and Benji. Isaac, some good form, playing himself into some good form on the right wing. Hayden returned to the side, starting in his preferred position as left wing. We'll talk about the tactical influences that that will have on the side. And Luca starts on the bench, looking forward to continuing his scoring account after scoring against Redlands earlier in the season. We have asked under 15s for a couple of players. We asked for Hobbsy. We've also asked for I can't think of his name, the blonde centre back. That will allow us to push players further up the pitch. And we await to see what's going to happen. The difficulty under 15s are having is that they have a game the next morning. And that may or may not affect their availability. We'll wait to see. Worst comes to worst, I'm actually comfortable going into this game with two players on the bench because I think we have the strength of character and tenacity to get a result in that situation with what we have. However, assistance would be helpful, and some of those under 15 boys can do a job for us, which is really helpful. So, boys, that is the match preparation video. Tomorrow is a really important fixture for us to consolidate our momentum as we move into the back end of the season. So let's get there tomorrow, get the W, and then have a good break, and then come back for the run home to the finals.